Ain't cool being no jive turkey. So
You dumb fuck.
Oh!
Here we are. What is this? Friday, June the 9th, Friday the 9th. Usually I do them on Thursdays if you've been following along, but scheduling stuff. We're here on a Friday. And I do want to let you guys know that after we get done here, sometime shortly after that, Carl Necron is going to be doing a show on his channel, streaming like the entire Pius Levis Omega Vortex album. If you know Carl, he's the guitarist in Pius Levis. So that got that going on. See a lot of people already in the chat. Appreciate it. What's up? So what we're going to do a playlist, but I'm going to be on it this time. Ken's got a heavy playlist he's prepared for everybody here. So without further ado, I'll bring the man on himself, live and direct from the Crypt. What's up, man?
What's up, Francisco?
Just hanging out, drinking my my V8 on a Friday night.
V8 on Friday night.
V8. I mean, I party hard around here. I party hard around here. Not like most people. But before we get started, it was weird. I had two people send me videos of two different like, just, you remember the Faces of Death videos and all that, right?
Yeah.
Well, now you can find that shit online. Before you used to have to, you'd have to hunt it down, and now it's like, hey, look, somebody's filming on their cell phone and just uploaded it to whatever. And so my buddy Charles sent me one in like I think it was in New York somewhere. This was literally this lady trapped underneath this big bus, dead, guts all over the street. And the people there, and this is the U.S., people are like freaking out, like, oh my God, holy crap, And then I get another one from something that happened today, actually, in Chile. And somebody got trapped. There's like these massive buses that drive like in the downtown area. And there was somebody that got trapped between some kind of post and like the bus. I don't know how that happened, but they're trapped. And next thing you know, I guess they pretty much died there, but the bus is stopped, and then all of a sudden the bus starts moving, and you can just see like body parts falling apart, just being crushed. And people are just sitting there filming it, all calm and collected. So I was like, you got in the US where people are like freaking out about it, but then you're over here like this totally different part of the world. And to them, it was like, oh, this is no big deal. You know what I mean? They're like, everybody get your phone out or stuff like that. So that totally freaked me out how calm everybody was. And instead of like telling the bus driver, hey,
Right, stop.
which something like you and I would probably do, right? We were like,
Right.
hey, why do you stop beating on the bus? No, they're just sitting there with their phone. Like, you can literally see that the head just fall off or whatever. But I'm like, holy crap, this is just completely insane how different the mindsets are between, people in certain parts of the world. And that was just like, I had that on my mind. I was like, I gotta fucking share that, because it was both of them are just as gruesome and grisly and just fucked up, but the reactions of the people in different parts of the world was like, just blew my mind. So I guess what I'm trying to say here,
never ceases to amaze me. So
yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, here in the U.S., we're kind of I don't know, sissies? No, I don't. I don't know. No, I don't know. But
it's just different cultures. What people are.
Yeah, totally. It just freaked me out. I was like, wow, I'd be like, hey, what the hell?
Yeah,
a little more compassion, I guess. But I guess that's something they see on the daily or something. I don't know. So anyway, we're here to talk about death metal. Speaking of gory stuff, obviously you guys should know Ken. Ken's death metal Crypt, also in the band Unnatural. Which are you guys still doing? Are you guys still active? Are you guys doing anything with that anymore?
No, we're on a hiatus, and I don't know how long that hiatus is gonna be for. Ted's recovering from some health issues. So and we have no idea how long that recovery is gonna take. So he's it's not he's good, he's fine, okay. He's just recovering. But it's a long process. So so I don't know if we'll continue or not. Right now it's on hold. It's just, it is what it is. We just did that for fun, so it wasn't like we were, we were having fun doing it. So it's not like it was any means of like, like supplementing our incomes or anything like that. So it was just for fun. So, the fact that we had to, put it on a back burner for a while, it's fine for us, so.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I know I would assume by now, most of the people that follow you know about, that you actually were involved in that project or whatever. So, but if you don't, hey, go check it out. There's, I think your stuff is up on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Should be on your channel. I'm assuming.
I think on Bandcamp we put everything up there for free to download if you wanted. So
there you go.
Yeah, so last thing we did was, it's been a while, so it's been. The last thing we did was what 2020. We did Al Famine Records. We did the compilation CD. He put all of our stuff on one CD. So that was the last thing we did. But before that, an actual like release. Before that, we did was that 2020? Right before that, I think we did a split with a 1-song split with Fetid Zombie, Mark Riddick, Fetid Zombie, and Dylan Jones from Rotted. Then we all did one song. We only pressed like 300 copies of it or something. I think Mark pressed them, so we only pressed like 300 copies. They sold out in like 20 minutes or something. So
it was on cassette, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
That was it.
If you go check it out, if you had no idea, that for somehow you didn't know that Ken was involved in that project, go look it up. Unnatural Bandcamp, and go check it out.
Well, shout out Cemeterian, man.
That kind of fizzled out because people just got a lot of other things cooking, a lot of other projects going on that is just too busy, and that's why I decided to start ETD, because I wasn't one of those people that had a lot of things going on. So Charles and I, the bass player, are in this band with JD, who's in Hexea, and Robert Mena does vocals. He was in HRA with me, and he was the old Dark Rain singer from Houston, the band Dark Rain. Yeah. So, we got that going. So anyhow, but this isn't about me. This is about heavy jams we're going to be playing today. Is there any song specifically? And so you can kind of, if there's any specific song you wanted to start with and talk a little bit about it, or you just want to play it and we'll talk about it afterwards, whatever you want to do.
You are the maestro. You are the commander. So you're commanding the ship here. So you pick whatever track you like.
All right. So before we go to that, let's kind of recognize. We got
I kept it pretty old school though.
Yeah. I noticed that was what's up to everybody in the chat? Wade Capone.
I can't do any chatting, so sorry everybody. I can't. I can't. Yeah, for some reason I can't do any like typing.
Carl, what's up, Carl? Carl Necron. Scooter Lincoln. Do you know John Lincoln from Cleveland area?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, he's an old school Cleveland, Parma specifically. I don't want him to get mad at me.
So he knew Jim Sadis and.
Oh yeah. He was like one of the original guys from the band Terror.
Oh yeah.
Way back, and just has a lot of other projects going on nowadays. Real cool dude, old school guy. He's like seen everybody and done all that. He's basically the kin of Parma, basically. You know, Adam Scott in the house.
Adam Scott, Cardiac.
Yep. Who are these two handsome fellas on screen? I don't know what screen you're watching, buddy, but there's a.
Yeah. Tell me we'll both know.
Sick Gorefest shirt. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. Gorefest. I don't know if Gorefest is on the list. Maybe they are. Maybe we'll listen to them. I don't know. I don't
Stick
remember.
around and find out.
Stick around and find out. Ken is the death metal crypt keeper. Abhorrence Bond says strength to Ted. I guess when you were talking about Ted recovery.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Carla from. Have you seen the most ridiculous zine ever made? It's like 660 pages out of Chile. It's called Kalu Fanzine. I just recently found out about it. It's just jam packed with it's ridiculous. It's written
666 pages.
Oh yes, every issue is handmade. Every issue. Yeah, man.
That's dedication.
Yeah, total dedication. Chris. Chris is from your neck of the woods, from Defiled Graves Distribution.
Defiled Graves Distro, yeah.
Yeah, I think, yep. Aaron Komos.
Aaron's my boy.
Yep. Wicked Devil. Johnny from San Antonio. He does that Merciless Onslaught radio show. Good guy. Fraser. Let's not even talk about him.
What's up, Fraser?
Awesome. CSSO. Yeah, dude, CSSO. They don't get talked about too much. They were a good band. I dig them. Death Metal Bible, exactly. That's what Kalu fans need. All right, so just running through that. Hey, everybody, tell everybody we're coming hanging out. Come hang out with us for a little while. Kid and I'll be on here for a little while. We're going to delve into his playlist. Well, let's start with this one since I mentioned it before we came on air. It's the Fatal Guts for Dinner from the demo. And the reason I brought it up is because when I was looking up the songs on YouTube, somebody, instead of writing Guts for Dinner, they wrote Guys for Dinner, and that just made me laugh. So Fatal from Michigan, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir.
I remember Chris Reifert used to rep them a lot, right? Fatal.
Yeah, the shirt was on the Autopsy, the repress of the first Autopsy, Severed Survival. The repress with the 3 or 4 zombie doctor surgeons around.
Yeah.
On the back, he's playing drums. He's got Fatal Soul Burns shirt on.
That's right. Sick.
Yeah.
All right. So let's check it out. Fatal Guts for Dinner.
Killer band.
Oops. Hell yes. Hell yeah. So that was Guts for Dinner, not Guys for Dinner. By Fatal. Fatal. So Ted, the Unabomber saying hello from Chile, by the way. Oh, you're on mute.
That's all right. Hey,
There
Ted
you go.
from Chile.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah,
joining.
Unabomber joins me weekly. That's pretty cool to have the Unabomber
Oh, yeah.
follow the show. Oh yeah, so I asked everybody if they had any questions for you. Go ahead and ask them. What's your favorite? You have a favorite Texas band
Uh,
or a couple?
Necrovore?
Name a couple of Necrovore. There you go. Carl's gonna
Bloodspill.
love that answer.
Bloodspill, maybe, too. I really like Blood. I always like Bloodspill. Necrovore. Yeah.
Yep. Are there any demos Ken is still looking for?
Yes.
That's a really good question, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't, I've never claimed to have everything. So there's a lot I'm missing. So,
Yeah,
yes,
we're always.
Absolutely. 100%. I'm always on. I'm a heavy metal hunter. I'm always on the prowl.
Anyone? What's the first one you think of? Where he's like, God damn it, I don't have that. I want it.
Probably swarming of maggots from
Zizma?
eczema.
Yeah, that's a classic. I have it, but I have a dubbed version that I got from a friend that photocopied cover, you know what I mean? But
I know Mike Abominator Nelson has that, and he said he got it when they went to like Wild Rag Records, and he said Richard C used to have like bins of demos for like $5, and he just like picked it up, and I guess Richard told me, yeah, you need that, man, it's awesome, and then like he bought it. I'm like, you bastard.
Good point. Dahmer did have Guys for Dinner. Touche.
Most certainly.
So, anything coming up on the channel that anything you'd like to share? Any new stuff or any?
No.
Let me ask you, how much stuff are you still getting? Like people sending you, like labels sending you stuff, like on a consistent basis?
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, still get stuff. Yeah, I'll probably upload a video this weekend, probably Sunday morning. So new stuff to talk about. And yeah, I just got a package in from a label out of Europe that sent me literally, I think, about 15 or 16 items in a box.
Holy shit!
Talking about those, yeah. Good stuff. It's just, I love it, but it's, it takes a while to go through because I got to listen to this stuff multiple times. So, I have to explain to them, and everybody's been super cool, but, when they send packages that big, it's, it takes me a long time to go through it. I don't just listen to something, for 10 seconds and, I got to listen to this thing at least 3 times before I start taking any notes on it, or I start thinking about it. You know what I mean? The first time it's background noise, right? Second time you start to listen, and then the third time is when you're really like, okay, now I've listened to this 3 times. I'm starting to pick it up, at least for me, I'm not the smartest, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but for me, it takes a while.
Well, and then also we're not like 17 years old and don't have all day long to listen to stuff. You got plenty of other things going on that take up your time, right? So.
Ooh, I see Necron's asking Texas devastation.
Oh yeah,
Texas
I was getting to that.
Woo!
I mean,
man, I'm gonna have to go with Chicago, not because it's Chicago, but I'm gonna go with Chicago. But Signs of Life, that borderline death metal, that borderlines. I know everybody puts that in the thrash, category. That record is heavy for a thrash record, man. I love Signs and Idolatry. Love those albums.
Here's one. Do you have a demo for a band called Excarnation, early 90s death metal from Miami?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I have to look at my list, but yeah. You know what? Check the channel. If it's up on the channel, then that says yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to find out. Yeah. Oh, look, Scooter says he has an early copy of Swarming of the Maggots. He got it from Steve from Seraphic Decay. He was actually really good friends with Seraphic Decay Steve also. That's another. Shit. Yeah.
I got a ton of Seraphic Decay, so that's cool, John.
Signs of Life is a classic. Hell yeah, dude. I love it.
Signs of Life, one of the heaviest thrash. I know, like I said, people say it borderlines death metal.
Cranial Hemorrhage, dude. Devastation. Chicago they were just so brutal, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Devastation, but that's a good question.
Yeah,
Necron. That's a
Necron. Yeah, that's a good question. All right, so let's you guys keep asking or keep commenting in the chat. We'll go to another tune. Speaking of, well, you know what? Let me. I don't know if it's his favorite band, but favorite Finnish band.
Oh, my favorite Finnish band.
Is it the one? Is it the one that you picked? The one with the letter A? That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, probably.
Right, so this one is probably right now it's his favorite band because I'm going to play it.
All right, we'll go with that.
Yes, there it is. Classic, just fucking classic. So this is Abhorrence, Holy Laws of Pain.
Fucking best song on this EP, man.
That's death metal, just fucking amazing.
The epitome of Finnish death metal. It's the heavy. They had Swedish heaviness, but yet they still captured that Finnish like vibe, and then they threw some death grind in there. That's like that. I think the heaviest band from Finland.
I mean, hard to argue.
Yeah, I think
it's hard to argue. That's just brutal, man. That EP, and it's just one of the most disgusting. It's filthy death metal. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's a death metal. It's part of death metal history. That's a classic. I mean, yeah.
Unabomber wants to know Bestial Devastation or Pentagram Chile's first demo.
Sepultura Bestial Devastation.
There you go. Hell yeah. So was that Abhorrence? Fraser says he has it on CD. Was that all that stuff reissued on CD? All that
well, they did
stuff?
Yeah, well, Abhorrence somebody did I forget who it was with it. I got the vinyl, but it's the compilation. They put like all their stuff on a double vinyl.
Okay.
I forget what it's called. Like I don't remember, but I got it on vinyl. But yeah, they so it was, I guess, repressed on a compilation, like I don't know,
Okay.
a few years ago, but
Yeah.
never like to have it on a new 7-inch would be cool. Like repress it on a 7-inch. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, because somebody said they should need to repress this. So I don't know how long ago all that LP and discography
yeah,
thing was put out, but
it was a few years back. 'Cause it took me a few it's probably at least like 5 years ago because it took me like I probably got it maybe like a year, maybe 2 years ago, and it was
okay.
already out for a little while. So it took me a while to finally land a copy because it like sold out, like immediately, and then and then it went on Discogs for just an astronomical amount of money. But I think I ended up finding one for a pretty good price. So
Yeah, there you go. It's on Discogs. Completely Vulgar is the
that's
name
it. That's
of
it.
the compilation. There you go. So hey, go look for it. Maybe you'll find it. Maybe you'll get lucky and find it.
Completely
Uh,
vulgar. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
found one for a decent price. Like I said, about 2 years ago, so I ended up buying it.
yeah. Uh, Smart Records put that compilation
That's
out.
it. Smart.
There you go. Dude, that's why these chat people are just fucking smartest people on
Mm.
earth. Right? Fucking know everything. Not that
I
they
guarantee you
not.
they're a good-looking crowd too. I can't see them, but I'll bet they're good-looking. They're better looking than me. I get that's probably for sure.
Yeah, this is called pandering to the crowd, kids. Uh, but anyway, all right. Let's go into another jam. Uh, let's talk about this band a little bit. We'll go straight to Chicago. Cyanide, obviously, friends of yours for a long time, and you actually released Cyanide. There you go. So that's the Dying Truth, the OG version of it. What's
The
on the back?
OG.
Can you show the back of that? The back
Yeah.
tray. There you go.
And then the
So
inside is, I think actually I'm thanked on it too.
there you go, man. Look at those young kids.
Yeah, bunch of young lads there. Look at that.
Wow, look at
No
that.
gray hair. Yeah, that was this was 92, right? So those guys are
Yeah,
a couple years older. They're like Mike's. No, well, Scott's like 2.5 years older than me, and then Mike's like 2 years older than me or something.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, they're both a couple years older than me. So they were probably like 24 when they recorded this, 23, 24, and I was like 21, 22. So
It's amazing though. 24 years old and just coming up with stuff like that. It's just
that was a
mind blowing.
glorious
Speaking
time.
speaking of those guys, when did you when did you first meet like Scott and Mike and those guys? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was going to shows. It was right when they basically started. I'd say like probably 1990,
Okay.
89 or 90, because they had just released this. They had just released their demo, their first demo,
Yeah.
and I went to a show with Brad Boldak. I met him in 89, so this is probably like 89, 90. Yeah, that I met him, and then we went to a show and just saw them, and I was blown away. So I got their demo, and then just talking to them, and then of course anytime they were playing shows, they used to play a lot more shows back then. I just
Yeah.
obviously I'd go to the shows. Me and Brad make the trip up to the shows, and just became friends with them. Just after talking with them and telling them how much I liked their band, and they're just a bunch of normal guys like I was. Just dudes
Yeah.
playing in the band. And we just became really good friends. And then we started hanging out more and more at shows, and more. The more we hung out at shows, the more they kind of more or less accepted me into their friend group, and we just became friends, and
Yeah.
been friends ever since.
Now, were you when you were a young lad, were you a big time thrasher at shows? Would you go wild, or were you one of those people that always, or just
Yeah,
more laid back and watch the bands?
yeah, I was pretty reserved. I've always been reserved. I always, I mean, you know what? To go to a show means to have a good time. So
Yeah,
personally, me, I don't care what anybody, you want go and do whatever you want and have a good time. However, for me, I was always much more interested in watching the bands. I always wanted to see how the bands played. I always wanted to see how they interacted with one another. I always found that very interesting. How each player interacted with the others. So I was always very, I don't know if that's just my metal nerdiness, but I just always was more interested in watching the band, and I always liked bands that moved around a lot.
Yes.
That headbanged and moved and were just, just went nuts on stage. I loved seeing it. Now, although I was always off to the side just watching, I loved when bands were so energetic that they're all every single member's headbanging. They're all, just headbanging their asses off and playing. So I was always interested in watching the bands. No, I wasn't like a mosh guy. I did a little headbanging, but I wasn't one of these guys that screamed shit. I was always a pretty reserved dude, and always very concentrated on watching the bands.
Yeah. Did you go to was it the Michigan Death Fest in 1990?
80, was it 90 or 89 or 9? I went to the first one.
The one where Morbid Angel played?
Yes.
So were you there whenever Scott handed Trey Azagoth a Cyanide demo, and he's like, "Oh, cool, thanks," and he kind of just chunked it in that school bus they had or whatever?
I remember I wasn't there for that actual moment, but I remember Cyanide being there. They were in a stolen car, I think.
What?
Yeah. From what I hear.
Well, it's been a couple of years since that happened, so I think they're okay.
Yeah. No, I think it was like I think the guy they came with, his name was a friend of theirs named Casey, like took his mom's car without her permission.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if she didn't know he took it. Maybe she didn't know, and she like literally like called the police or something. Was like, my car's missing, and she didn't realize like her son had taken it with Mike and Scott to a show in fucking Michigan. So, it was like Grand Theft Auto.
Cool. All right, so let's listen. This is actually one of my favorite Cyanide songs too. So fucking heavy. Scourging at the Pillar.
Door,
You know, to me, they're one of those rare bands that just got heavier and just seemed to get progressively like better, and not progressive as in music wise, because they still play the same type of style, but they just it just blows my mind how fucking great they are, like especially live. I know you've seen them live 1,000 times, but for those three guys to create that sound, just no matter where they play, it's always Cyanide, no matter what. You agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're just one of those bands that has their, they created a sound, and that sound is their thumbprint. It's their fingerprint, and it's unmistakable, it's undeniable, it's unrelenting, it's unwavering, and it's not going to change. And I think
No.
that's why so many people love Cyanide, is that they've always stuck to their plan. The plan has never wavered, and that just means true on metal.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, the few times I've gotten to see them play, because they've only played down here like maybe a couple times, and both times I saw them, it was just like, holy shit, somebody has to follow that now, you know? You
Yeah,
know what I
they're a
mean?
tough act to follow.
Yeah, man, because it's like they just suck everything out of the room. You know what I mean? It's just like, fuck, you know.
Yeah.
So even I always kid around, but not really. It's like for a while there, any touring band that came to Chicago, you would have somebody like Cardiac Arrest, uh, uh, Cyanide, who were some of the other ones that would be like the local acts, and these fucking touring acts would have to follow all these bands. I'm like, holy shit, Chicago's a tough area to fucking follow a local band.
Yeah. We've had a great scene since the 90s, since death metal was born, and we're kind of spoiled here. I'm sure you guys are too in Texas. You guys have a vast history of death metal there, and metal in general. But just like Chicago, so it's we're kind of spoiled, when it comes to our metal, being able to see live shows, because Chicago's a metropolis.
Right.
Shows, national shows, regional shows, local shows galore. So we get, we're kind of spoiled when it comes to that. But yeah, Cyanide's at the forefront of it. They're the kings of Chicago death metal as far as I'm concerned. And as of right now, and somebody asked, do they have new material? All I can say is yes. They do.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's the same lineup that's been for a while. I know every now and then live they'll ask Jim to. I think they didn't they do a show or two with him here recently? Like
the last one I remembered with Jim Bresnahan, who's in Commandant. Is that who you're talking about? Jim from Commandant?
Yeah.
The last time I knew that they had him live was when they did. It was a few years ago when Hell's Headbangers had a show.
Yeah.
They did like a Hell's Headbanger show, and Cyanide played it, and they played in its entirety, Death, Doom, and Destruction.
Yeah.
So, because Jim helped write the album, Jim was in the band at the time, they asked Jim to play the show. So that was the last time I knew Jim played a show with them. At least make that, but I think I'm right, because if Cyanide plays a show, I'm there. So, yeah, I would remember they asked him. But I think that was a few years. That was quite a few years. That was a few years ago that they did that.
Yeah. So since you were into taping, trading, and all that, if you were to start, let's do a Chicago tape. How would you start it? Who would you start it with, and what song would you start it with?
Who would I start it with? Probably something from a Syndrome demo.
Yeah.
Syndrome was so beloved. They were such a good band. I never, being from Chicago, and I was actually very good friends with, pretty good friends with Troy Dixer. We would talk often when we see each other at shows. But they were just one of those. I never understood how they never got a record deal and why they never went further. Because it wasn't just in Chicago. People heard their demos, and I'd probably take something just to answer your question, something from the Halls of Extermination. But
that's a great demo.
I don't know what happened. Because so many people from around, you would not believe what, like you mentioned, I was in the tape trading. And when people saw I had Syndrome stuff, right away they would ask if I had any Syndrome live shows. I mean, people just begged for it.
Yeah.
So to me, that said, you know, it's not just here in Chicago. It was all around the globe that people just really enjoyed hearing their music. And they just sparked something in people. And so the fact that they never did more, never went on to record albums was just a shame, really, because they were so talented and so good live. And they really were. They were a professional band. And, you know, it was a shame they didn't do more, you know, really was.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean,
if
you're watching this, if you've never heard Syndrome Into the Halls of Extermination, I suggest you go do it. Do that as soon as possible. That is one fucking awesome tape by that band. But yeah, Chicago. I know you rep Chicago quite a bit, and Brad Boldak is another one, just fucking fucking Chicago all the time. So it's always, you guys always get me hyped up about Chicago. So with so many bands, you know, it's like an endless, and not just like, yeah, you had your like obscure one demo type thing, but there was some bands, like you said, that made an impact, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, which is cool.
Absolutely. Well, Necron's asking a good question. That's Strike Demo or Master Debut?
Ooh.
Death Strike.
Yeah.
That's for me. It's Death Strike. The Death Strike.
Yeah, I mean, that's the originator, right?
That's the epitome of Chicago metal. Macabre, Syndrome, Death Strike, Cyanide. Yep. No,
yeah. Another, you know what's another underrated Chicago demo is that Aftermath demo.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, the one from '87, I think.
I think with a ghost on the cover. It's like a ghost or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. But check out. I mean, that's another band that you should check out. Aftermath. Total Thrash.
Somebody mentioned Z-Trope a little while ago.
Yeah. If you'd ever seen them live, somebody mentioned it. These things go by quick.
So many bands from Chicago. It's
all right.
Crazy.
What else? Let me see. What else do we have in this? Let's go with something somewhat. Most of this is older stuff.
By the way, Cyanide, that Cyanide album's probably the best snare sound on any death metal album I've ever heard.
Oh, The Dying Truth?
Yeah, the best snare sound. However, one of the tracks you're going to play here tonight, in my opinion, has the best death metal drumming on any death metal album ever recorded.
Ooh, yeah. I wonder what that one's going to be.
We'll find out when you play it.
We'll find out. Stay tuned. All right, so let's go with. You know what? I think somebody. Oh, actually, me and my buddy were talking about this band today. This is Destroyer 666. Anything you want to say about Ride the Solar Winds?
So this album for me with Destroyer 666, I was always a huge fan of this band with Violence is the Prince of This World, Unchain the Wolves. You know, they definitely had more of a black metal kind of a vibe to their, first bits of music, their first releases. But this, for me, was the album that put them on the world stage. The guitar work on this album is phenomenal. It is wonderfully constructed. It's wonderfully executed. It's wonderfully mixed. It's got a great sound. This, for me, it showed the band's musicianship much more than like I said, like the EP, the Violence of the Prince of This World, Unchain the Wolves. This most certainly, to me, put Destroyer 666 on the map, on the world stage, was this. And it's all because of the guitar work on this. Just phenomenal. And I love the song Ride the Solar Winds, just because, wait till you guys hear it. If you're not familiar with it, I'm sure many are that are watching this, but I just thought that emphasized so much of the guitar work on this that's why I chose a track from this album. Just such a great guitar track, and it's awesome.
All right, let's go for a ride. Here we go.
I'm a solar wind.
There you go, Destroyer 666. With, what's the name of that song again? I'm a poser, giving myself a poser
Ride the
alert.
Solar Winds, Phoenix
Ride the Solar Winds. That's right. So, yeah, Destroyer 666.
Just is such a good album. They, like I said, that for me, I mean, I like their, the first couple releases and whatnot, but for me, that album really put them up front. Really, they had my curiosity with their first couple releases, and then this album, they had my attention. So
yeah, I get you. So let's talk about Australia a little bit. There was some really chaotic. Australia is known for pretty much chaotic bands, for the most part, be it grind bands or death metal bands, black metal bands. There's always that touch of just uncontrolled, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just totally chaotic stuff that comes from down there, from down under, if you will. Stuff like Slaughter Lord, Bestial Orlas, Corpse Molestation. Yeah, shit like that.
Sadistic Execution.
Sadistic Execution, obviously. Right.
Didn't those guys beat themselves up on stage? They beat each other up on stage.
I don't know.
They would. I heard a story that I don't know if it was the guitar player slammed into the singer or vice versa, and one of them broke a rib or something during a live show.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I just know they were pretty wild guys, Rock and crew.
Yeah. Gospel of
so-
Horns, that's another good one, yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. There's a ton of
Grenade.
them. They had a lot of good punk hardcore bands, grindcore bands too, from back when. Huh. So everybody knows I'm having a V8, but what are you sipping on?
I'm sipping on a local. It's actually local. It's called. There's a brewing company called Pollyanna, and this is their Pollyanna German Pils. So
There you
it's
go.
a local brew. It's called Pollyanna German Pils. So good stuff.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's continue the jams. So from Australia, we'll go back to the United States. This is the James Murphy band.
I know what you're talking about.
So you want to speak on this?
Yeah, so here it's Disincarnate, Dreams of the Carrying Kindness, the album. I think the track I chose is the first track just because I think it embodies everything they did with this album, Stench of Paradise Burning. Just a great out. James was obviously, he was already well known by the time he, started this band. He was in Death, he was in Obituary. But I think he was kind of looking for his own thing, with being in those bands. I mean, obviously he had a role to play where this was kind of his baby, and
Right.
I think, this, why, again, just another one-off that, they did a demo before this and then they did this and then, never heard from him again,
Right.
why, and, why not is a good question. But I always thought this one of the, at the time, one of the premier death metal albums to come out, when this was released. And James Murphy had who doesn't want James Murphy in their fucking band playing lead guitar? I mean, in 1993. So, I mean, so I always liked this album. I always thought James Murphy was obviously a great musician, a great guitar player. So, for me, this, when you told me to give you some tracks to play, I had to put something on from this album just because I also think it doesn't, nobody talks about it a lot. And, I'm not quite sure why, because it's a great album. So great stuff. So yeah, Stench of Paradise Burning.
There we go. Disincarnate, Stench of Paradise. Birdie.
Yeah. The guitars are so thick. They were so thick on that album.
I think JD. Oh, speaking of this, I'm glad you mentioned that. Colin Richardson. First thing I think of when I think of Colin Richardson is Bolt Thrower and Symphonies of Sickness, Carcass, because I think he produced both of those, and both of those sound great. So,
and I always think of Pestilence, Consuming Impulse, and Immolation's First Dawn of Possession.
Yeah, but yeah, so he that was a pretty common name to see back when, Colin Richardson.
Yep. He produced a lot of death metal back then.
Yep. Thick with 2 C's. There you go.
Yeah,
Thick.
Sure.
Yeah, so that was James Murphy. If you didn't know, that was James Murphy's kind of, I think that was pretty much right after he left Obituary, was it, right?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. Because it was 93, so yeah, he was on Cause of Death, which was what was that?
Yeah.
91?
90, 91, I can't remember, but yeah.
Anyways, yeah. It was after he was with, because then he was on Spiritual Healing with Death. And what was that? 90? Was that 90?
90, yeah.
Spiritual Healing was 90, Cause of Death was 91, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, and then he was just kind of doing it. And I know I think Fraser mentioned he was in Cancer for a bit.
Yeah.
And I know he did leads on, I think, on the first Gorguts album, Considered Dead. I think he did leads, or maybe their second album. I know he did leads for them on one of their albums too. Yeah, so he was kind of all over. But yeah, great album. I always love that album.
So let's perfect lead in actually to the next song. It's Cancer. You want to talk a little bit about that one?
Yeah, Cancer. Probably my favorite Cancer album. To the gory end. And I forget the track. So did I say Bloodbath, or is that the track I chose? Bloodbath. Yes. Man, just again, this is a 1990 release, man. And it was just, for me coming out of the UK, being just being exposed to death metal bands out of the UK back then, Cancer was at the forefront, this album, death, thrash, it was fast, it was aggressive, it was, death thrash, and just listening to this was amazing back then for the first time. And like I said, I had heard some other bands from the UK during the time, but this was something a little different at the time, and it was really good. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite Cancer album, and probably this album would probably make like a top list of death metal albums for me. If I were to say, if you were to say, hey, Ken, can you make me a list and maybe like your top 20, 25? This would probably make that list.
Wow.
Would be this record. Yeah. Cause I always liked it. Always thought it was great. And I think it does get a lot of, recognition. So I'm not going to say it's underrated, like nobody talks about, because I think a lot of people actually talk about this record. And I'm pretty sure it's been re-released and whatnot. But by far for me, probably the greatest Cancer album ever recorded was this record. It was just so much aggression. You could hear it. They were just so like hungry as a young band, and they tore it up on this record. And I liked some of their other stuff afterwards, but I never thought they came close to capturing what they did here.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna listen to the track Bloodbath. There we go. Bloodbath. Cancer from the first album to the gory end. From England. But yeah. Oh, just a reminder, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time, Mike Abominator is going to be joining me. Ruin is coming to Texas next week, Friday and Saturday, in Houston and San Antonio. So he's going to be on the show tomorrow. We're going to talk about that. And also, he's got his own playlist to share with everybody. So hopefully you guys tune into that tomorrow, 5 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock California time. So doing it early tomorrow.
AKA Big Sexy.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I call him Big Sexy.
There you go. Big Sexy is going to be appearing before your eyes in all his sexiness tomorrow afternoon. Hey, John Grave, what's up, John Grave?
Hey, John.
Yep.
I got to meet John. I actually got to meet John. I was a little. Yeah, I got to meet him at what, a month or ago or so.
Oh yeah, that fest.
Yeah, what was the fest around here? What was it?
I don't remember.
Metal Threat.
Yeah.
And John came up to me, and I was kind of starstruck. I'm like, hey, look at this guy, John.
He's like, should I go talk to him? That's John Grave. That's John Grave.
Starstruck. He came up to me and like talked to me. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Good.
He is a nice, good fella. Super. What a great collection he has too.
Yeah, totally.
Stuff, just you follow his Instagram page. You just see all kinds of fucking old school stuff.
Yeah, I think it's Death Compendium.
Yeah.
So check out.
Check that out. Yeah.
Death Compendium.
You guys want to see some old school stuff? I don't post as much stuff on Instagram as I used to, but I deleted the account. Then I went back.
Yeah, so as I have on the ticker there, if you wanna follow Ken again on the new place, on the new account, go to Ken's Death Metal Crypt on Instagram and check it out. All right, let's go into something. So that was Cancer. Let's go to, here's something fairly new, I guess. Bloodbath.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
I'm just, I just put this on because it's heavy as shit, and it's heavy. And I know a lot of, on this, this was the first time I heard Michael Ackerfeld. So, I didn't follow, Opeth. I'm not an Opeth. I actually don't own anything by Opeth. Wasn't an Opeth fan or anything, but this I was a fan of, Bloodbath. I like this band. He started this band, and with Dan, I think Dan Swano was on this too, if I recall. So the fact that Dan Swano was on it, and then it was the introduction, I think, of Michael Ackerfeld on vocals. And, oh my God, his vocals on this are insane. Just so, I always just like this band. I know, some people like him, some people hate him. I don't think there's much gray matter with this band. You either like him or you hate him. I always like Bloodbath. It's heavy. It's Swedish death metal. With simplicity comes brutality, and they figured it out on this EP, Breeding Death.
And it's the title track, Breeding Death.
Breeding Death.
Falling into a few eyes with
There you go, Bloodbath.
In a wake of pain, breeding death.
Breeding death. So yeah,
that's what we do.
There you go. There you go. Ken picked that song because it's fucking heavy.
Just heavy, just a heavy song. I tried to get out of the 90s, so I put.
I hear you.
I think it's 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, it's
I thought, I'm like, when you had told me, I should, send you some songs, I'm thinking, I was going to mix them up like new and old. Then I thought, nah, everybody hears me talk about new stuff on the channel, so I'm throwing all old stuff on this one.
There you go. There you go. So speaking of old stuff, this is probably, you know what? It's like some of the older guys. This is probably one of the most picked songs that there is on the show. It's from in my opinion, the best Grave demo ever, and
Absolutely.
probably the best Grave release ever, in my opinion. That fucking classic right there. That is just, man, classic death metal.
Hearing this for the first time in like 1990, I think is when I wrote to the band. And this is their 89 demo.
Yep.
Anatomia Corporis Humani. And I think I wrote them in 90 and they still had some of these. So they sent me one for like $3. Like, oh, send $3. And so I did. And I don't think anybody was prepared to hear what they heard on this demo in like 1989.
Right.
Just the putrid heaviness of the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think anybody, the first time you're hearing, you go from heavy metal, then you hear, songs like Reborn Miscarriage and Extremely Rotten Flesh.
Yes, dude.
I mean, I'm putting on King Diamond and then I put this on. I mean, yep. I love King Diamond, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, like, it's a different world. It's a different world. And so this was the epitome of what Swedish death metal was at that time, along with Nihilist and Tomb, Dismember. This demo, for me, it definitely got me more interested in Swedish bands. I'll be honest with you. This, along with Crematory, I wrote to Crematory around the same time. And then I wrote to, and then because Crematory, hey, you should write our friends in Unleashed. So I wrote Unleashed, got their demo.
Yeah, exactly.
And that just spiraled from there. And I became a Swedish whore. So, this demo, but if you're going to pick anything off this demo, it's going to be a toss between Reborn Miscarriage and Extremely Rotten Flesh. For sure.
just ridiculous. Man.
You want to know where Undergang got their sound from?
Right?
That demo.
Well, I guess you answered John's question. You said that's your favorite Swedish death metal demo?
Yeah, if I'm going to pick he said Swedish death metal demo. Yeah, I'm going to go with this demo. I mean,
it's hard to argue. I mean, I love this demo. I'll just tell you some of the ones that this one, Carnage, Infestation of Evil, just the fucking sound on that. Only Shreds Remain, Nihilist, when they first got the chainsaw, right? And the Unleashed demo, the first demo, and then Putrefaction, which is the Grave Guys. Oh, that demo, holy shit. Holy shit. Just, I mean, there's so many great ones. Crematory, Wrath of the Unknown.
What's the unknown? Something of the unknown. What is it?
Wrath of the Unknown.
Wrath of the Unknown.
The Exordium. So many. Traumatic had a fucking great demo.
I got that too. Yeah, the Traumatic. Yeah. I think I wrote every Swedish man in 1990. If there was a Swedish band in 1990, I think I wrote to them.
Yeah.
I may have not gotten their demos, but I got a lot of them.
Morbid had a good demo.
The black metal band Morbid, yeah.
Yeah, black metal, yeah. But yeah, there's so many fucking classic demos. I mean, I'm forgetting most of them.
Oh yeah,
but the ones that stand on top are I think the ones that we've mentioned so far.
Yeah.
General Surgery demos are fucking amazing.
General Surgery, yeah. Oh, I have those actually. I have those.
Yep. General Surgery.
That was a lot more. That was like more death grind. Like.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yes. Macro Dex was good. Yeah. Just
Macro Dex. Yeah. Oh, I have that. I have that too.
Good shit. Crypt of Kerberos or whatever the hell.
Yeah. I have the 7 inches. I have both those 7 inches. That's a heavy band too. Yeah.
So much good shit, man. So much good shit.
It was sweet. Somebody said, do we? I think it was Joe had mentioned. Do we think that they like brought some the
low tuning?
Yeah, they definitely introduced the HM2 thing.
Well, I think a lot of those bands actually got that from. I would say like probably Carcass. Maybe, because Carcass was tuning low, like on the demo and first album and all that, and a lot of those early bands, even like Finnish bands, they were really Carcass inspired. And,
for sure.
But yeah, the low is hell. But I think Crematory takes the cake on low tuning. Would you agree?
I can't disagree. I mean, it's heavy as shit. I mean, like I said, just being kid, we were kids, and this is the first time you're hearing something like that. You're just like, did something just happen to my stereo? Did it break or something? You're thinking something's wrong, and it's like, no, this is just, it's heavy, and you're like, you couldn't. It was almost incomprehensible, for a minute until you realized what you were listening to was something being born.
Yeah, but Crematory, and I'd say that Putrefaction and that Grave demo, and Only Shreds Remain are probably those fucking super. Actually, Nihilus was like tuned to B, but like Crematory and that was just way lower.
Oh yeah, sorry, Vacuous Steps to say that Carcass didn't play in HM2 though. Yeah, no, I think we know they didn't play in HM2, but I think what Francisco's saying is the heaviness that the
tuning, the low tuning, for sure.
Yeah. They didn't play through HM2, but I agree that. I mean, look at Symphonies of Riga Putrefaction. Symphony. Well, to me, Symphonies of Cygnus was a heavier album than Riga Putrefaction. I think Symphonies of Cygnus.
Yep. I mean, I'm a Reek guy, but I love Symphonies.
I'm a Symphonies guy. I got both. but I
of course.
I thought Symphonies was heavier, so I kind of leaned more towards Symphonies.
Yep.
And we won't talk about any more Carcass because I know Francisco and I have different opinions.
Yeah, Carcass. Unfortunately, they died in a plane crash in 1990, I think. No, but anyway. All right, so these fucking jams are getting me all fucking hyped up. So let's keep it going here.
You know what? I didn't want to get you too freaked out because I was gonna when you told me hey, when you asked, hey, do you want to do a playlist? And I'm like, I should just do Balls Out Grind. Let's just do some Agathocles. And
dude, that's my stuff.
Everybody in the comments out either. I didn't want to freak all your audience out. Because you and I can sit here and geek out about fucking Agathocles.
Of course.
And, Core and shit because I love that stuff and Death Grind. But I didn't want to freak out your audience here and be like, oh, this, these guys are just talking about grind.
All right. So
old lady drivers. We can talk about old lady drivers.
Oh, yes. That's my stuff. That's my stuff.
I love that stuff. I love that stuff.
All right, so let's go to this band, which I never heard of until you said put them on the list.
I think I know who you're
the one starts with the K. I don't know how to pronounce it. There it is.
I think it's called Carrot Nader. I think that's so. I don't know much about this band, and the only reason I picked it is because something different. And there's the CD's okay. But there's one track on this. It's the title track, and it's called "Arrival of the Funeral Dogs," and it might be one of the best Finnish songs ever written. If you haven't heard it, it's heavy, super heavy, got a ton of emotion to it. Just I don't think a lot of people talk about this album because nobody's ever heard of this band.
Never
but
heard of it.
This was kind of like my blind pick for everybody. Like, you know what? If you've never heard a band before, listen to this track. And I think my point is, don't judge a book by its cover, because wait till you hear this track. You're going to love it.
Okay,
awesome.
so
Arrival of the Funeral Dogs.
Arrival of the Funeral Dogs. Yeah, I realized that too, because I had downloaded the entire thing, and so let me find the one where I actually cut the song, where I actually edited it. So that's the wrong song. Yeah, you're right. I noticed that too. I was like, oh shit, wrong song. So let me find the. So we'll go ahead and go to another one, and I'll find the right one.
We'll just go to another one.
Yeah. So here we go. Let's go to. This is a classic. We'll talk about this classic once it comes back. It really needs no introduction. Hell yes, there we go.
And I was mistaken. I told somebody Colin Richardson produces. No, it's Harris Johns produces.
Harris Johns did that, yeah. And Immolation.
Yes, I was mistaken.
Yeah, that's just
yeah. Somebody said perfect album. It may very well be the perfect death metal album. And
yeah, great.
That's probably in the top. This album, Consuming Impulse, might be a top 10 for me of death metal albums if I had to make a list. It's probably in my top 10.
There you go.
I gave you a track from it. Yep.
What's that fucking song?
That's The Process of Suffocation.
Is it? I don't remember. But yeah,
or is it Out of the Body?
Out of the Body. Out of the Body.
That's right. That is, yeah. Out of the Body.
Head bagging like crazy.
It's a good record. That's fucking good. They got so many good tracks on that record. That's a good album. Somebody said their best album. But yeah, I agree. It's their best album. It's Pestilence's best album ever. Chronic Infection. That's another
Radiation Sickness drove them to Cincy when their van broke down. There you go. There you go. What's up?
Radiation Sickness. Remember those guys? Radiation Sickness?
Yeah, I think I have a 7-inch and their album.
Yeah, I got a couple things by them, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, John Gruesome. Best vocal performance. I mean,
he killed it on the first Asphyx album too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the Rack.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, for some reason it was weird because that one like got the live stream shut down temporarily. I don't know why. I was surprised. So, but YouTube's weird like that sometimes. And sometimes it won't do it. So anyway, that was Andy Jones wanted us to play that whole album. It's not a bad idea, you know. Play where'd it go? Oh, just play the whole album. There you go. Andy. What's up, Andy? Andy Jones.
Malleus Malferum was a good record. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it was more speed metal to me. That was like more speed metal than death metal to me anyway. It was a good record, but then it was a different band with Consuming Impulse. They were different, just a fucking different band.
Right. All right, here we go. Let's go to New York. This is one of those bands that it's like their name was out there, but I don't know if they I don't know if they ever became like a household name, if you will.
It's too bad they didn't, because I saw them live, and I thought the singer TJ did it for me, man. The guy, he was like totally into hardcore. He was like a hardcore kid.
Yeah.
And he just had so much energy on stage. And after I saw them live, I had to like try and get everything they had. So but yeah, man, I know who you're talking about.
There you go.
Baphomet.
Baphomet.
This is the dead shall inherit.
Yeah.
Now they had demos in 7 inches before this.
Right.
7 inches were awesome. Love the 7 inches, but this freaking record, man. Wow, Peaceville. Peaceville was trying to box them all up. Peaceville was trying, them and like Roadrunner and Earache. They were just trying. Or I'm sorry, this is Peaceville. Peaceville and Earache were just trying to, they were trying to say in every band, their death metal band there was back at this time. So Peaceville nailed it with, obviously Autopsy in this. Baphomet. This album just, the epitome of what U.S. death metal was at the time. And it was good, and it was heavy, and it was raw. And the track on this, my favorite track, The Dead Shall Inherit.
I think it's Valley of the Dead.
Or that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The Dead Shall Inherit is the album Valley of the Dead.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen to the hardcore influence in it, though.
Here we go.
Listen to the hardcore influence in this.
Valley of the Dead, Baphomet. There you go. Baphomet.
Baphomet.
Yep.
Touch shall hear it.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Good album. Great song. But you got what I was saying with that hardcore like influence.
Yeah, no, you can totally hear it. You can totally hear it. Like in the
yeah, total hardcore. And I know TJ the singer was a huge like hardcore guy. Like he was totally into like hardcore bands and stuff. So he had so much energy on stage too. That guy was nuts.
Yeah. Here's a question. I don't know who did the artwork for that, but was it the same guy that did Accidental Suicide cover?
Oh, the Deceased album. Accidental Suicide Deceased. Yeah, I have that too. Is it the same guy? I don't know. That's a good question.
Know. Chris Drew. Sure. Chris Drew. I don't know. Good question.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the credits. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Somebody can Google that. You guys can Google that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, Doug. But yeah, I have that. I have that CD, Accidental Suicide Deceased. I think it's called.
I think you're right. Yeah, like Grim says, both covers do have that elongated mouth jaw on the.
He might be right. Might be 100% right.
Hey, what's up, Sam Biles? He got to sing the chorus of Boiled in Blood with them at the reunion show. Nice. Yeah, Boiled in Blood was the 7-inch, right?
Yes. Yeah, that was the 7-inch.
Yep.
Boiled in Blood was that the? No, I think that was was Boiled in Blood the second. Then just the Baphomet was called Baphomet with like the demon like.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah. You're right.
I think Boiled in Blood was the second 7-inch.
Second one, yeah. It was like a red and white cover, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, let's go to Poland.
Oh, now
talk about this one next.
Now we were talking about drumming on the Cyanide album. How I thought, that might be the best snare sound, and then I said I was going to tell you what the best in this playlist was a band that I thought had the best death metal drumming on an album.
Okay, there you go.
This has, in my opinion, the best death metal drumming ever recorded on a death metal album is Vader's De Profundis. What was this, 1995, I think? The Doc, rest in peace. Guy's not around anymore. Passed away not long after this album. I think he only did another. I think he was on The Beast, which was 2000, I think. So I don't know. He passed away, but he left just a monstrous catalog of drumming. To this point, I mean, I had Vader stuff. I had their demos. I had, the Ultimate Incantation. I thought it was okay. Kind of like I was talking about with Destroyer 666, how that one album put them on the map for me. This, with the drumming especially, this for me, I noticed Vader. This is when I noticed Vader and knew they were going to be a powerhouse. But man, De Profundis, listen to the drumming on this. Silent freaking Empire.
There you go. Vader
Man.
from De Profundis
Man,
album.
oh man.
That was their second album?
Their second full length, I think, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think after they did the Ultimate Incantation, I think they did an EP. I know they did Sothis just before this, De Profundis. But the drumming on that album, man, oh man. I don't know. Nothing for me, nothing in drum wise has ever come close to that album as far as like drumming. I just always thought that was the best death metal drumming on a death metal album ever.
There you go, guys. You heard it.
So that's it. That's the law. No.
Let me see. What else have we got here? What have I played? All right, let's play. This is later album from this Swedish death metal legendary band. I think. Yeah, I think it is somewhat later, I guess I would say. Right?
Does it start with a D?
It does.
Yeah, so it's actually an EP, and it's probably one of my favorite songs by the band. That's why I chose it. And it's
Okay.
Obviously it's got the HM2 vibe. It's got, and I think you might, you would find that there's definitely some hardcore in this too.
Yeah.
I think the band always had that kind of punky, crusty hardcore edge to their death metal. But man, Casket Garden, title track from this EP, Casket Garden. Now the song was also on Massive Killing Capacity, which was the album that was after this.
Right.
But I like the EP version.
There you go.
The EP version, so anybody in the chat, if you to be a metal nerd, listen to the EP version and then go listen to Massive Killing Capacity version. You will like this version better, but it just embodies everything Swedish death metal was doing. Fucking Casket Garden, man.
It's kind of like Swing of the Axe, right? The Metal Massacre version is supreme compared to the album version. So here we go.
110%.
All right, so here we go. Dismember, Casket Garden. Right, I played the album version. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. It's still good.
No. Yeah, no, I'm gonna make up for it. I'll upload the EP version.
No, actually, it'd be fine because then people should go out and I'm just telling you, just like the EP version. I'm telling you, it's more raw. The EP version is, and that's cool though that you were playing because then I would tell people go listen to the EP version.
Now it worked out well. I did that on purpose.
Absolutely.
All right, so let me play something else, and I'll go. Yeah, we can compare it that way. Exactly. So let's go to. We'll keep it in Sweden. All right. So let me play this, and we'll talk about this when we get back.
no place for me. Outcast of society, the morning from my side. Against them I will fly. Yes, I will. Flying through the forest, the colors blind my eyes. As one with the earth, I will never die. As one with the earth. Think about your ecstasy, think about now and the past. What is your name to dream the breath? I hope it will last. I feel unbound. Feel like diamond dream. I am unbound. Feel like diamond dream. Watching, looking, eternal dawn. Running, off in the dream I was born. Screaming, crying, please take me high. Dreaming, flying, never to die. Think about now and the past. It's your name to dream of forever. I hope it will last. I feel unbound in my diamond dream. I am unbound in my diamond dream.
There you go. Merciless, Unbound. Yep.
Excellent album. I know somebody had mentioned the first album, Awakening.
Yeah.
From that album, the song Pure Hate.
Yes. The River. Yep. Is that
Yeah,
the
I
one?
get that.
Is that the one that was? Is that the one they put on that compilation, Projections of a Stained Mind? What? I can't remember what Merciless songs are on that. I think they had. Oh no, they had the Attack, or what was it? I can't remember. Just totally ripping stuff. The classic compilation. Oh yeah, we were talking about that logo. That logo is amazing. That Merciless logo, just amazing.
Whole band's amazing. Everything they did, just like it's like they appeal to so many people too. They appeal to the thrash crowd. They appeal to the melodic death metal crowd. They appeal to the melodic black metal crowd. So they were just, especially that era. I think somebody said something about, this was their epic era, was Unbound. I think because they appealed to so many metal heads, with that album. Insanely good band.
Damn. Yeah.
Oh, Euronymous did put out the first album.
Yeah, he did. He did put out Merciless. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, John. It was the Book of Lies and Nuclear Attack on Projections of a Stained Mind compilation. All right, so I got the Dismember EP version ready to go.
I can't believe how much Swedish stuff I brought. I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, I guess I should have been a little more variety, but I guess
people are absolutely enjoying the playlist. So let's listen to Casket Garden, the raw version.
Listen.
Nightmares, I put them to sleep. Place of chaos.
There we go.
Yeah, somebody said it in the chat. I think it was Andy Jones said, "Not as polished." Absolutely
Yep.
right. Just,
Hey,
it's just a more raw.
I got a buddy of mine that's going to join us here here right now, coming all the way from upstate New York. Mr. Roy Fox.
Hi, what's up, Roy?
What's
Uncle
up, dude?
Ken,
Hey, what's up, Roy?
leader of the underground.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You must have inspired thousands of kids and young people because you uploaded all those sick demos over the years. So
I doubt it. I doubt it.
No, it's true. I have to agree with Roy.
Thank you both, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll agree to disagree on
where
that.
else
but
would people find those rare demos if you weren't
we're
uploading
right.
them?
Yeah, right, Roy. We'll agree to disagree, but Roy and I are correct.
No, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you, Roy. What's up, brother?
How's it going, man?
If I was any better, I couldn't stand it.
I'm glad that you came on here to pick your 20 bangers.
Yeah, just Francisco just said, "Hey, you want to come on?" I said, "Yeah."
Was that hard for you? Because you have a lot of CDs.
No, not really. I didn't know. He just said pick them, and I just started off the top of my head and just pick them. No, it wasn't hard at all. I could do another 20 if you want. No, I'm kidding.
I know. I felt like I could do so many more.
Yeah, of course. Sure. Of course we could. But hey, Roy, John Grave asked this. I'll ask you. You're a death metal merchant. Favorite Swedish death metal demo?
Demo. Okay. The Nihilist Drown demo.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's in two. Is that in two?
Whoa. Hold on. Wait, Swedish Putrefaction Painful Death.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I picked. Yeah.
Or Grave Third Demo.
Yeah, that's Ken's favorite.
Anatonius Corporis.
Okay, yeah. So it's like a cross between those three, probably, you know.
Or crematory wrath.
Crematory exordium.
So many good ones, dude.
I know.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of, and I'm still mad at myself that I never picked it up, but one of you, I'm sure, has it. Remember, the Grave Anatomia was pressed on 10-inch. Do one of you have that? Do one of you have that?
I have it.
You have it? Oh man, I used to see it in like mail orders.
No, it was pressed on a 12-inch by MBR Records.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it was 12-inch.
Yeah, it was the demo. It was the third demo pressed on. It just has a big Grave logo on the front, and it's black. And it was just the demo pressed on.
Yeah, dude. I was always mad at. I don't know why I never picked it up. I was just stupid.
You know what no one talks about? The demo that was made after that. There's another demo squashed in between there that basically I remember I had a copy through Bill from Disma or something, and we used to listen to that demo a lot too. And it's not the split with Devolution. It's an additional recording, and it's super sick too.
So you mentioned MBR. That's who did the Crematory Denial EP.
Correct.
Yes.
Now, did they do? Remember, there was also a Grotesque one that was released around the same time as that.
Incantation.
Yes, it was. Was that on MBR also? I can't remember.
That was on Dolores Records.
No, I have that. I don't think it's on MBR.
I think that was on Dolores Records.
Yes, Dolores put it out. Yep.
Wait, I'm thinking. Not Incantation. What's the other one?
Embrace of Evil.
Yeah, the Embrace of Evil was released on vinyl back in like 91 or something like that.
MBR put out the Pantalgia compilation on vinyl back in the day.
Yes. John Grave will let us know. John Grave, I remember seeing it because I would see the Grave on vinyl and also the Grotesque in the Embrace of Evil. I swear.
I thought it was Dolores. I thought it was Dolores too that did that.
Yeah, I think Dolores did those ones. But there was another record on MBR. I'm not going to.
Well, I know Denial. I know Denial was definitely on it.
Insanity.
Insanity? Really? Wow.
Yeah. Sick.
I didn't know that. All right. So anyway, let's let me see what else we have here. I know we got a couple of things still left on
Uncle Ken always propping up the underground.
Hell yeah, dude.
Roy Fox in the house.
Let's. Oh, we got one. We have one
Francisco
more.
Pulido. It's Pulido.
Polito.
It's
Yep.
not Pluto. It's Pulido. Is it Pulido?
We have-
Positive Polito.
We have one more, and I think this is my favorite song on this album.
No, we have two more.
What's the other one?
No, we have two more.
What's the other
I got two CDs sitting here.
Where you
Oh,
going?
are you? Oh, shit! I'm gonna have to fast forward that one. I guess I never edited it down. You talking about the Cater or whatever?
No, you played that. Oh, and if you want to go back to that.
Oh
but
no! What was the other one? What does it start with? Remind me.
UNC.
U C. What the hell? I have U, yeah, and then C is. Wait,
Oh,
where's
you-
that other?
Francisco
That's
got his eyeballs on all those WAV files, the MP4s.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it. The U, I know what you're talking about. The U.
Yeah, there you go. We'll go with that one. But if they had eyes, is
UNC.
I still got the Century Media thing
Mm.
in there. The mail order from Century Media.
UNC, Uncle Slam.
Uncle Slam. I bet one of you has an Uncle Slam album somewhere.
I don't have any Uncle
I
Sam.
don't have any of those.
I don't either. Guarantee Fraser has it. Guarantee.
That one was, yeah. That. Did you
But no,
get to see them,
seriously,
Ken,
man,
when they were live back in the day when they came on that first tour?
Yeah,
I saw them. I did see them in the U. I did see them in Chicago. They were with. You know what he did? You know what Donnie
Morbid
Hedlund
Angel?
did?
Morbid
He
Angel
freaked
and
out
then
the entire Chicago crowd. You know what he said? They played a song, and between songs he's talking, and he had this horn, right? And he fills it with beer, and he goes, "To all you motherfuckers, fuck God and fuck Jesus Christ."
Hell yeah.
Everybody went silent. They were so freaked out that he said this, right? And I'm like, holy shit, yes. So much conviction. He literally, and then I think they went into the song that I'm picking tonight off this album.
Yeah, this song just fucking rules. Hey, so while this is playing, text me the C, and I'll look for it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here we go. Unleashed If They Had Eyes.
If they had.
Just absolute classic.
My favorite Unleashed album.
Me too.
Oh yeah, the only Unleashed album.
But Across the Open Sea was good, and I like some of their other. They were always catchy. They were always catchy.
The second one has some good songs. I think.
Across the Open Sea was decent.
What's the second one? Shadows in the Deep.
Or Shadows in the Deep. Yeah. What do I think?
Yeah, Shadows in the Deep. Yeah.
They never quite touched that first one, in my opinion. Sorry, guys.
but it was.
No, I didn't touch it.
I agree. I agree, but that one still has some good stuff.
It's good.
What was this? They did an album that they tried to sound like Venom.
Really?
Yeah, there was an album. I think I have it on CD. It's like the cover. I think is like fire, and they literally like the entire album. It sounded like Venom.
Well, they covered. They used to cover Couch's Battery live. I remember back in the olden days. But
like Venom.
Look at Fraser flexing. He says he's got all of them.
Oh, they do have a lot of releases.
I have all of them.
No, yeah. All right, so more Swedish death metal. This here is just. This is one of those albums, and I'll let Ken talk about it. But I always like to mention this album and Mortician's Mortal Massacre were two albums that blew out my speakers like way back when. Because of the production, it's just so fucking heavy and low. So, but yeah, kid, go ahead, talk about it.
No, it's no, you're right. I played this CD. I like you, Francisco. I probably wore this CD out, but Carnage, Dark Recollection.
Oh, damn.
And this is the split. This is the split they did.
Oh, is that it? Oh, I was gonna ask, is that the Cadaver split?
It's classic. The Cadaver Carnage split, but we're talking about Carnage on this one. It's pre-Dismember. It's pretty much Dismember. And then there was like speculation. I don't know if maybe this would be cool to hear. From being from Texas, New York. Yeah. So what we heard in Chicago was these guys went into the studio right after Entomb recorded Left Hand Path, and basically told the engineers, "Don't touch anything, and we're going to record." And they recorded this. That's what we were told. I don't know how true that is, and I have no scientific evidence to back that up. But did you guys hear anything like that?
I thought it in my mind.
Yeah.
I thought Dismember went in after too and did the same thing.
Well, you know what?
That's what we were told about this record.
You know which one sounds exact? Go back and listen to that. Speaking of projections of a stained mind, that Nirvana 2002 song. Listen to that song and the production, and everything sounds exactly like Left Hand Path. Like as far as tones, drum sound, that's the one I thought. I was like, holy shit, they must have just said, hey, let us record next or whatever. But that being said, that Carnage is just fuck, man.
There are so many tracks on that just.
Well, I'm glad you picked this one because this one was a new song on the album. Because a lot of the other ones were like old Dismember songs or like Carnage demo songs. Right. But this one was new. This one and Malignant Epitaph were, I think, the only like new songs. But this is just fuck. All right, here we go. Dark Recollections.
We're going to talk about Malignant Epitaph after this.
Yeah. Blah. Hell yeah. Classic. So yeah, so Roy posed the question, what's everyone's favorite Carnage song? What about Entombed? I mean,
deep questions.
I like that's one of my favorites, but I like Torn Apart on the Infestation of Evil demo.
Yeah.
That version.
Yeah.
Just fucking yeah, just fucking.
I think I'm with you.
Torn Apart on that demo.
Torn Apart. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Entombed, I mean, from Left Hand Pat. Yeah. I mean, the title track is
man.
unreal. But you know,
Morbid Devourment, which was a Nyla song, but
Revel in Flesh.
is good. You know what? Honestly, I think my favorite is Supposed to Rot.
Oof.
Yeah.
You're supposed to rot. Yeah.
No,
and then just the way he says it, like, you were supposed to rot.
Hell yeah.
You know what I think is cool about some of these albums? That they don't even need to have song titles. You know the whole album in a way, right?
Yeah, right.
Like one song after another. It was like
track
a
one, track
journey.
2, track 3, track 4.
Bitter Loss, that fucking
Bitter Loss.
But I think my favorite Nyla song is Face of Evil. That song is fucking heavy. But yep. Dayman Loss, of course.
Ooh, Crawl.
Gentle, Exhuming, and Drown.
Oh, the EP version with
Oh, the EP's the best. The
guy with
I like Clandestine.
I like Clandestine.
I like it too. I don't like it. It's no Left Hand Path to me, but I like it.
No, for sure.
But
I bleed like Sinner's Blade. Yeah.
The fucking but no, Crawl with Orvar from the Nirvana 2002. His vocals are great on that EP.
Yeah, that Crawl EP is good.
What about Entombed when they came to Chicago? Like, did you see that they seemed confused and they had like Uwe singing or something? Because it wasn't LG.
No, it wasn't LG when they first came to Chicago the first time. Were they confused? No, they didn't sound confused at all. I mean, it sounded like Entombed.
Did they have a vocalist in Chicago? You remember? Because some of the shows, Uwe had to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's who sang in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Uwe.
We got
He did good. He did good. I mean, but you know what? That album is so classic. Like, I mean, you know, unless you're completely just not musically inclined at all, which I'm sure all of those guys are, it's going to be real hard to fuck that up. You know what I mean? Just because, you know, just playing the music behind it. I mean, it's heavy enough. You can pretty much just take a shit and it's going to sound good behind that music. So, yeah, no, he didn't have much to worry about. He was fine. He was, you know, it was no LG. You know, it was no LG, but it was fine. It was.
I remember being a young fan, and those moments always confused me. Like, there was that moment, which came later, and then there was the moment, like, for me, where Napalm Death played, and, like, we thought Lee Dorian was going to be there, and it was Barney. We were like, whoa.
Well, we got Johnny Dordevic on the first tour, and then LG came back on the second tour.
Yeah, I saw LG with Entombed before. Yeah, I've seen him a couple. I saw LG with Entombed a couple of times.
Yeah, LG, man, rest in peace, LG. But his vocal performance on Left Hand Path is just absolute perfection.
I remember seeing him with Entombed for the first time at a Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Yeah,
and they did the song Evelyn. And he just like, that kid was nuts. Such a nice guy, and I was talking to him too, and he like was totally into like electronic music, electronic dance music.
Right.
Like that's how like he was just like he had like a stack of CDs of like electronic dance music.
Damn.
Like, hey, whatever rocks your boat, man. But you're one hell of a death.
A lot of the Swedish guys, they got into alternative music. Like I remember when I tape traded with Matty Karki. And then he sent me the Dismember demos, and then he taped them all on one side, and he said on the other side he taped the Fields of Niflheim, and he said this is what I listen to now.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of like Francisco. He kind of started listening to a lot of alternative, like like you know he went away from grind and he started listening to a lot of like mellow melancholy.
Well, I mean. I did. I listened to some like sub pop stuff, like
I was joking,
like Seaweed. No, but it never crept to any music I ever wrote. You know what I mean? Right. So
Francisco
like a lot of those
grew
guys
up in a musical household, from what I'm understanding.
Oh yeah. I grew up listening to a lot of shit, but there was always like I grew up in a small town, so there wasn't many of us that were into the extreme stuff. Just like a handful of us. But there was always those guys that would like be into like some other underground scene that wasn't like death metal, grindcore, black metal. It was like hardcore punk or like like some of the sub pop stuff, like just early on, just shit like that. And some of it caught my attention, and most of it didn't, but some of it did. But yeah, exactly. Like New Kids on the Block. No.
Shout out to Raj from Mortician, who's texting me right now.
Oh, nice. Oh, so was trance music? Is that what LG was listening to? Trance music?
It was just like it was just like electronic, like dance music, like stuff you play at like a dance club or something. It's like
weird.
Like, do like that Rammstein or something. It's like stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So Fraser's asked this about 1,000 times, but to me, the Swedish sound was created by Leif Kostner, right? He's the one that played guitar on Only Shreds Remain demo by Nihilus, and that's where that buzzsaw guitar.
I always say in Left Hand Path. Hand Path.
Yeah. So
that started the Swedish. That set the bar for not only Sweden but the entire death metal world.
Well, Leaf taught those guys because he had the orange HM2 pedal.
Yeah, he had the HM2 pedal. Yeah, all the way to the right. All knobs to the right. Like, what is that? What is that band, Ken? All knobs to the right.
Oh, that All Men Play on 10? You talking about Manowar?
No. All knobs to the right. What are they called? Church? They're from the Midwest. No. Not Metal Church. We found out Metal Church is the greatest metal band of all time. But
Metal Church is probably that's probably the one record. If somebody wants to get into metal, just metal, have them listen to Metal Church.
Medieval.
Oh, Medieval.
Yeah, all knobs to the right. Yeah, that's what it
Oh,
was.
Medieval Kills.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, exactly.
That's not from Chicago.
Right, well, Midwest. They were like Michigan
Oh,
or
I thought
something.
you said Chicago. I'm sorry.
No,
I thought Chicago. I'm like, no, I don't know.
New Renaissance, baby.
Oh, wow. Andy, that's your buddy that sings for Metal Church now? Cool.
Shit. Andy's like Kevin
Andy knows
Bacon
everybody.
of metal.
He
I like
has
Dark too. Dark was a good album too.
7 degrees of
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon
of Andy Jones.
Yeah, the 7
I don't know if you know
of Andy Jones.
I'm guessing you know who Andy Jones. I'm going to assume you know who Andy Jones. He played on one of your favorite 7 inches, Ken, from Rhode Island. Drummer.
Head Rot?
No, close. Probably the most. Phlegm. Yeah, that's Andy Jones from Phlegm. There you go. So
Andy Jones,
he sings for
Masterpiece of Mutilation.
That's the one. I know you like the shit out of that record.
I do.
So,
Andy Jones,
that's
cool.
And I saw Andy live because was Andy playing with them? Because I saw them live with Jim Fleet.
Yeah.
Back at the Ohio Death Fest, I remember they played the song "Slabs of Meat."
Hell yeah, heavy ass jam.
That's good song. That's a good song.
Hey, Andy Fraser's going to be wanting to be your buddy because he loves the fucking new Metal Church album. So anyway, holy crap, we still got. So I think the playlist is done. But if you guys want to keep chatting away a little bit, because Carl's going to do a show here in about 20 minutes or so. But we're gonna. I think that's every. Oh, and tomorrow, Mike Abominator is going to be here 5:00. I got a brand new Ruin song to premiere, and he's got a sick ass playlist too that I think everybody's going to dig.
Shout out to John Grave.
John Grave. Yep. So,
yeah, Roy, I didn't get much of a chance to talk to you. We passed each other at Metal Threat, and it was like, yeah, I'll come talk. And then it was like,
I saw that. I noticed that. I was like, God damn, Ken was there just for one day in a fleeting moment. We were like, yo, Ken.
Yeah, we saw each other for like 10 minutes, but we were both like talking to other people. We're like, yeah, I'll get with you in a minute, and then it just like never happened. So
I mean, we both were probably getting pretty serious about the show because the show was like so serious, right?
It was really good. I was so impressed with so many bands, like that Obliteration band. Dude, I could not believe that band. Like they were so good. I had no idea what they would sound. The sound was great. In the in the venue, and I saw that. Yeah, it was just so much cool stuff. Yeah, it was like
The first day that Ved Beden's End band, like I was a fan of their early stuff or their first stuff, and I was blown away by them, man. They were amazing. I normally don't like that progressive type like death metal-y stuff. I like, more into like the hard, like Mortician stomping shit. Yeah, so like for me to, I was like, whoa, this band is sick as hell, dude. It set a nice mood for that fest too, being that was like on the Thursday or whatever. So I think you were there like on the Saturday, right? When they were doing like.
I was there on the Friday.
Okay.
But I saw that the band that a young band that impressed me was that Dungeon Servant. They were they had a lot of atmosphere and they brought it right on live. They were super atmospheric and like evil sounding. But
the small room was cool.
I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, the small room?
Yeah. Like it was so intimate.
I just bought a ticket, right? And I don't recall on the website it's saying like this is only for a certain area. I only got the ticket that I can go in the big area. I didn't get the ticket that I was able to go in the bar.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, what the F?
You didn't just go in anyway?
No. They wouldn't let me. They said, oh, you don't have the right band on your arm. I'm like, well, please. Wow. Could I go in? And they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't let me.
There was a more limited amount of tickets for that area. I know that.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me in, so I couldn't get in. So yeah, and I'm like, well, I didn't know I had no idea you had to buy like something different to get into both. I thought I had access to both.
Right.
And that was wrong. And then they almost tried to like stop us from going into the merch area where Hell's Headbanger was. Like, oh no, you can't come over here. I'm like, well, that's
got to be like me, Ken. You got to just stomp through everything and just be
well,
like,
I just walked in. They find, they at first they try to stop. I'm like, well, that's retard. I'm like, because how, like, you're really going to deny these vendors people from this side coming over to buy stuff? Right. I understand you don't want us to watch the bands play because they didn't pay for that, but for the merch, you're really going to deny these vendors who drove all these miles? And finally they go, oh, you're right. They just let me in, so they didn't give me much of a problem after that. But
that was your chance to sneak in the other area, brother.
Yeah, I thought about it, but my luck, I'll get arrested, and then all hell breaks loose. And then,
shit!
You got me.
I mean, there were plenty of bands on the other side, but
it was an amazing show. I'm looking forward to the next one. I heard it October.
Really? Oh, I
really?
That one. No, I only
not this October. Next October.
That's.
I wish it was this October.
That'd be pretty fun.
Metal threat.
That'd be pretty fucking quick.
Yeah, I'm ready for another one.
Well, I'm not.
Like 50 bands from Europe. Yeah. No.
I'm too old to go to shows anymore, man. Like shit hurts the next day. Like.
I hear you.
I mean, I love the young kids going. You guys should go. You younger people, go to those shows, support those bands, buy their merch, headbang your ass off, drink a lot of beer. It's just, I'm just too old.
Right.
I don't recover.
Yeah, I don't know.
You guys stop being showgoers. I'm more into it than ever. I'm not more into it than ever because I could go to Brooklyn all week, but.
I didn't stop going to shows. Hell, I'm playing a show next week, but I just don't go. Yeah, I mean,
I'm more selective.
I haven't played a show in 3 years, and I just know I'm gonna need like 2 weeks off after playing one show.
Right. Yeah.
I'm more selective now when it comes to shows too. I'm like, you know what? I want to be more selective and go to this particular. And also the fest thing, it does turn me off a little bit because it's like, man, I got to be there all day.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my back.
Well, that's why I appreciate shows in Texas because it looks like there's a lot of 4-band and 5-band shows. So I'm like, wow, damn, that's exactly how I would want to go to a show, just 4 bands.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care to see 8 bands. I mean, nowadays there's not going to be a show where I want to see all 8 bands.
Well,
Metal Threat, though, I have to say, man, Metal Threat. You could watch all 8 bands. It was the only show.
It was a good show. That was fucking awesome. But
that was like 4 days, right?
You know what I want to do before I die is I want to go on one of those 70,000 tons of metal, like cruises.
Oh, okay.
But then you look at the band list. And I want to see like 3 fucking bands.
Right.
Out of the 250 bands are there, I want to see like 3. So is it worth? And then I actually did look at
maybe just for the cruise aspect. Yes.
Well, so I don't know anybody that would want to go to that, right? Like, if I ask Mike, are you kidding me? I'm not wasting my money on that, So I looked at going alone. I was actually thinking of going alone on this trip. In doing this cruise thing by myself. I figured, well, seems pretty friendly. I'll meet people, right? I'm pretty fairly outgoing. I can meet people, right? I can talk to people. But the thing was, when I went to like look at booking a room for a single person, you don't get to pick the room. Because I thought, well, I'll just pay the money to get like a really nice room for myself, right? Like a suite. You can't do that. Ken's pina colada. You can't do that. Like if you're a single person, they put you in a room with another person.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, I guess I get it because they're trying to cram as many people as they can into this boat. So you don't get that. Like I can't get even if I'm willing to pay for it, I can't get a room that's meant for 10 people.
Yeah, fuck that.
they don't allow that. Like I have to get a room with, you know.
I get you if you're not going, because I'm a soloist too. I go to shows by myself. Like it's easier. Then I don't have any baggage to like.
Well,
whatever.
then maybe me and Royal
Human
go to
baggage.
70,000 tons of metal.
Here we go.
It'll be me
70
and Roy.
million tons of money.
Yeah, maybe me and you should go, Ken.
Yeah, me and Royal go to 70,000 tons of metal.
You're right though. There's only like 5 bands sometimes, so it's like
That's what I mean. Well, there's like 250 bands. I want to see like 2. You know, it's like Rotting Christ played, in Sodom. I'm done. You know, but I got to spend a whole fucking week on this boat. You know, with what are some of the bands like? I don't know, like Autumn Leaves or something. You know, some melodic band or something.
A lot of these fests you go for the people and not for the show sometimes, you know?
I think that's
I find
what it
myself
is.
like that at Maryland Death Fest, that I'm more there for like the people than I am for the show.
Andy Jones is a cruise aficionado. He knows.
Ooh,
he says that's what
Andy Jones.
That's what the casino is for.
There you go. There you go.
He knows all about.
That's what I'd be afraid of. Instead of going to see the bands, I'd be spending money, and if I'd be losing my ass at the fucking blackjack table, because I do play cards, right? And I play cards, and I lose my ass. So I'd need Roy there and go, Ken, you're not going in there.
Yeah. I'm straight, so I could usually drag people and be like, come on, man, watch the show.
I think Sodom is playing this one, right? Isn't Sodom playing this one? The one this year or something?
They might be. They played before. They played Jungle Rot. My buddy Jimmy, he's a bass player at Jungle Rot. They played last year. Sick. I got to talk to him. I haven't talked to him. I got to talk to him and see how that. Well, I'm sure he had a blast. I mean, you know, if you go on YouTube and look at their channel, it looks like a fucking blast. I mean, it looks like you would just have the time of your life. I mean, the bars don't close. Plenty of food. You know, there's plenty of restaurants. The merch, the bands. It's just constant partying.
Right.
And I mean, you listen to these people that have been doing it for the last 10 years. Oh, this is my 10th time on the boat. I mean, it seems like a fucking blast, but I'd be alone unless Roy went with me.
Listen, it would be like MTV. Remember back in the day, you would see like the MTV like party videos where they would have like Miami party.
There'd be like a TV crew there, and it's like Roy and Ken in the back fucking partying and shit.
Well, they even have like I guess on the beach they have like the day before they like take off before they leave port.
Yeah,
they have like all the like everybody goes on this beach and like they're just partying, having a good time, drinking and shit. And it's like you kind of group with your country. So yeah, you know, you kind of
the Beastie Boys come out, you know.
You know, Insane Clown Posse plays a set. Yeah,
Insane Clown Posse. That's right.
Funny. But yeah, that
do I know Jim Sutton, aka
Black
Metal Jim? I don't think so.
I don't know him either.
No.
I don't know either. But yeah, I mean a cruise. I don't know.
I'd be down. You know what? I'd actually like to go. I really do want to go. It's just the bands. I'm just not. I'm like they literally have like 200 bands play, and I like want to see 2. Like I couldn't. You know, no offense. I don't mean anything bad, but I couldn't care less about 90% of the bands playing this fucking show.
No, yeah.
I'm just being serious. You know, I'm just being honest. And
he wants all filler, no filler.
Yeah, you know, and it's so. Then what am I going to do the rest of the time? Like somebody said, you know, okay, the casino, that's dangerous. I'm just going to lose a shit ton of money, you know. And then I would just drink my ass off into an oblivion, you know. So I don't know.
That would suck. You want to see 2 and they both end up playing at the same time.
Right?
Or you're winning in poker and like you're like Sodom's playing now. You're like, sorry, bro, I'm up.
Yeah, exactly. And then that might happen. You know, okay, so I'll play a little poker or I'll play a little blackjack, and then all of a sudden I'm up $200. And then Sodom's going on right now, and I'm thinking, well, I'm up $200.
Yeah.
I walk away from the seat, you know, and then I lose the rest of it, and then Sodom's done. You know,
I'd be singing what's that Love Boat theme song the whole time I was on there. And then after that, I get tired of like, all right, can y'all send a fucking send a small boat? They could send a small boat to come fucking pick us up. You know what I mean? After
the death metal dinghy. Maybe we need to set up our own fest. Smaller boat with better fans.
Fucking Andy, I have 2 cruises booked, only going to be 195 pounds of metal. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I most certainly wouldn't be able to go on that cruise.
Yep.
Because I'm heavier than 195 pounds. But
did the question get breached here? Ken, best show ever?
I don't see it.
Show ever?
Yeah, what do you guys think was the best show that you went to? Like, as far as like a show?
Oh, I know that one. That one for me was the Grind Crusher tour is Carcass, Pestilence, and then Death. It was Carcass on Symphonies of Sickness, Pestilence was on Consuming Impulse, and Death was on Spiritual Healing.
Yeah.
It was it was at a place in Chicago called Medusa's. And the first time I got to see Chuck Scholander, first time I got to see Martin Van Drunen. It was the first time I ever saw Carcass with Jeff Walker.
Michael Lamont came out.
And they fucking, every band nailed it. I mean, Carcass opened up. So that's how cool this was. Carcass opened up the show. And, they were on Symphonies. They played everything from Symphonies and Reek of Putrefaction. Just fucking destroyed everybody with their, pathological grind. And then you had Pestilence with Martin Van Drunen just growling his ass off. They were on Consuming Impulse, played mostly stuff from Consuming Impulse. They played Dehydrated. They played Out of the Body.
Yeah, they didn't make it to New York, unfortunately. Pestilence didn't play.
Yeah, I'd go to that.
That's pretty funny, Sam.
But that was it for me. That show. And then Death, they played. They were on Spiritual Healing, but they played everything. They played stuff. They played Pull the Plug from Leprosy and, stuff from Scream Bloody Gore, Zombie Ritual, just.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to pick, but I really did like the Immolation Goraphobia tour. That was a good one. But seeing The Accused, like when I was 16, was fucking amazing too. But I don't know. There's just so many. I can't. That's a hard question.
Definitely. We didn't get Pestilence. They didn't play New York because they didn't have their visas intact or something. So I saw the same tour. It came through Lemoore with Carcass. And then that was the first time Michael Lamont I got to see being in the Carcass. And I was so pumped after that show because I was like, yo, Michael Lamont from Carnage is in Carcass. The next Carcass album is going to be phenomenal, dude. And then they hit the next album, and it was like,
yeah.
Well, I remember Michael, he played in Chicago, Michael Lamont did with Carcass.
Yeah.
And I just remember that dude had some serious fucking hair problems. I mean, his hair was like down to his kneecaps.
Yeah, his shit was long as hell.
I mean, I've only seen one person. You want to know the longest hair I've ever seen in a death metal guy? You guys remember the band Defiled from Japan?
I know them, yeah.
Defiled?
Defiled from Japan. The original singer, I think his name was like Hideki Fujimoto. This dude, I saw him at a Milwaukee Metal Fest. This dude was like 5'0" nothing. And his hair went down to his fucking ankles. And that's not a joke.
Yeah.
This guy, he had long black hair, and it was past his fucking kneecap. It was literally to his calves was his hair. As he was standing straight up. He's probably like 5'3" or something. I mean, I'm not tall. I'm only 5'10", but the guy was like, he was shorter, way shorter than me. So he had to been like 5'4", maybe at tops. And this dude's hair was past his shins, past his calves.
Damn.
And I remember he went on stage and he's singing, death metal, and he's headbanging, and his hair is literally going like 6 feet away from me. the longest hair I've ever seen on a.
I used to have it. My hair, those that may have seen old photos, I had it like probably down to my knees.
Wow.
Holy shit! Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh wow!
And the only other person that I remember running into, Ross Dolan.
Yeah, Ross.
He's got hair problems. Yeah, he's got
real hair.
But yeah, dude. I mean, I used to have like stupid long hair.
I used to have super long hair, man, like down past my elbows. No, that's a joke. I've never had long hair in my life.
Yeah.
Ever.
No,
I've never. My hair's been the same since I was in kindergarten.
Cool. Well, hey, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it because everybody turn over to the El Necron channel. Carl's gonna go live here shortly, so go check out his show. And Ken, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming on. Playlist was cool. Everybody seemed to dig it. We'll have to do it again. And Roy, thanks for coming in here last minute. Just
cool, man.
Shit.
Got to give Ken some props. Ken is the man.
So we will see you guys. Oh, tomorrow, 5:00 Texas time. Mike Abominator. Be here, man. Be here.
Tomorrow.
Thanks, Francisco. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks.
See you, Roy. Be good, bro.
And we will, let me find.
Homage to the gods.
Later.